Imagine for a moment that everything you're seeing about artificial intelligence, the explosion of new companies, the record-breaking investments, the promises that it will transform the economy forever is not the beginning of a new era, but the core of the biggest financial bubble in modern history. A bubble so massive, so fast, and so fragile that it could burst before most people even understand how this technology actually works. The dominant narrative says AI will fix everything. Business, creativity, healthcare, politics. But behind the futuristic glow and the inflated numbers, there is a reality very few dare to mention. The AI economy is not as solid as it looks, and the expectations built around it are completely disconnected from what the technology can actually deliver today. Over the last 2 years, governments, banks, corporations, and investment funds have poured tens of billions into AI, as if it were an endless gold mine. Startups raise capital without having real business models. Tech giants spend unimaginable amounts of money just to avoid falling behind in a race no one can truly win. And the markets inflate valuations based more on hype than on tangible results. What I am going to show you in this video is exactly why this bubble isn't just about to burst at us, why its impact could be bigger than 2008, faster than the dot-com crash, and more unpredictable than any recent crisis. And most importantly, you will see the signs that explain why the collapse has already begun quietly, even if almost no one wants to admit it. This is not an attack on the technology. AI will keep evolving and will reshape entire industries. But what won't survive is the financial fantasy built around it. So stay until the end, because once you hear this, you're going to look at the AI boom in a completely different way. And you might even wonder if we're already living through the beginning of the next major economic crisis. The AI bubble started with a media explosion no one saw coming. It began when models like ChatGPT became global phenomena, creating a sense of instant revolution. Investors started seeing AI as an inevitable future, and the money began flowing uncontrollably. Any company that mentioned AI multiplied its value without proving anything. Just like in the dot-com bubble, the narrative outgrew the reality. The technology is impressive, yes, but the growth hasn't been organic. It's been fueled by unrealistic expectations and blind enthusiasm that is now showing cracks. AI company valuations today are completely disconnected from real profitability. Companies without a single quarter of profits are worth hundreds of billions. Startups with incomplete prototypes secure massive funding rounds just by promising something big. It is déjà vu. From the year 2000, when everyone bought promises instead of products. AI is inflated by an illusionary idea that it will instantly transform every sector, when in reality it's still far from solving complex problems reliably. This gap between price and value is a classic sign of an imminent collapse. Competition among tech giants has turned into a war of irrational spending. Microsoft, Google, Amazon, and Meta are throwing tens of billions into AI, just to avoid being left behind, even though many of these projects stand to generate clear profits. Models are becoming larger, more expensive, and harder to maintain, simply because no one wants to look like the loser in the AI race. Ironically, this pressure to spend more and more is exactly what inflates the bubble. It's not strategic innovation, it's corporate fear. And when an entire industry moves out of fear instead of logic, collapse becomes inevitable. The real cost of maintaining AI infrastructure is enormous, and very few companies want to admit it. Massive models require millions in GPU, giant data centers, and absurd amounts of energy. Every response an AI generates carries a real operational cost. Many people think AI will scale infinitely, but the numbers tell a different story. Maintaining this technology is so expensive that much of its profitability is just financial smoke. Without a strong base of users willing to pay, these systems are unsustainable. The structure holding up AI is far more fragile than it appears. Most AI promises are built on expectations the technology still can't meet. Models hallucinate, make mistakes, invent data, and depend heavily on constant retraining. Many companies try to replace employees with AI, only to discover that supervising and correcting the errors costs more than the savings. The gap between marketing and real function is enormous. AI can assist, but it cannot fully replace critical processes, and not yet. When the market realizes the expectations were much bigger than the actual capabilities, The disappointment will be massive. The warning signs of peak bubble are already here. Unlimited speculative investment, billion-dollar startups with no real income, companies taking on debt to finance artificial growth, and governments demanding urgent regulation. Any one of these signs alone would be concerning together. They form a flashing red alert. Like every bubble, the frenzy shows up right before the crash. Media is flooded with miracle stories. Analysts promise infinite returns. Markets behave as if nothing could possibly go wrong. But this is exactly the behavior we've seen before. Every major financial crisis. There are several triggers that could burst the bubble. The global chip shortage could halt the development of new models. Energy costs could become impossible to sustain. Companies might flood the market with AI products that don't generate enough return. And the most dangerous trigger: if tech giants report even one bad quarter related to AI, market confidence will collapse. The entire ecosystem depends on expectations, not results. When the illusion fades, the fall will be fast. What went up in months could crash in days, just like in 2008 or 2000. The burst of the AI bubble would have global repercussions. Tech stocks would crash. Thousands of jobs would disappear. Startups would shut down overnight, and trillions of dollars in capital could evaporate. Governments would panic because AI has become a strategic economic bet. The loss of confidence would paralyze innovation and freeze investments for years. Just like the 2008 financial crisis, the impact wouldn't be limited to technology. It would drag down banks, investment funds, and entire economies. The dream of AI would survive, but only after the collapse. In the end, once the euphoria fades and the smoke clears, one truth will be impossible to ignore. Artificial intelligence was never the problem. Our unrealistic expectations were. The technology will continue advancing, but the easy money, exaggerated promises, and inflated valuations won't survive the market's correction. Every bubble in history reaches a turning point, and the AI bubble will be no different. What matters now is understanding what's really happening, not what they want you to believe. If this video helped you see the bigger picture, share your thoughts in the comments and subscribe for more deep content on economics, technology, and the events shaping our future.